Hello dear students. In this video I'm going to explain you about the nomenclature of drugs. Okay, so that nomenclature of drugs means the naming of drugs. Um, First of all, I will tell you that we have different concepts about drugs. One is the medical concept and another one is non-medical concept, which common persons understand. Okay, or non-medical person. See, non-medically we mean drug, a substance which is illegal and which is used for excitement, pleasure feelings, and which can cause addiction. For example, ganja, cocaine, brown sugar, etc. So this is a non-medical definition. This is the definition which common people understand or non-medical people uses. But the medical definition, it is totally different. Okay. Before that, see, drug, it is a French word which means draw and which means dry herb. So we have two definitions in order to define a drug. We have disease orientated definition. Then we have the definition which was given by WHO in 1996. See, disease orientated definition, in this we can define a drug as a substance which is used for diagnosis, prevention or treatment. Okay, so disease orientated definition, we're considering 3 pointers. Either it's used for diagnosis, okay, either it's used for the prevention of disease like vaccines or treatment. Okay, but this definition, it does not include the contraceptives, which is one of the major clause of drugs. And the second is WHO definition, which was given by WHO in 1996 in order to modify the above definition. See, as per WHO, a drug is a substance. It can be either chemical or biological, used or intended to modify physiological system or pathological state for the benefit of the recipient. So this definition, it includes the contraceptives. Now, how we can classify the drugs and what are the names a drug can be given. For example, we have a drug A. We have a drug A. A drug A have 3 names. It may have 3 names. One is the chemical name. The chemical name, it is a name which is based on the chemical structure of a drug, or we can say the chemical chemical structure of the drug. And second name is generic name. This is also called a non-proprietary name, and this name, it is internationally accepted, and this name is given by the United States adopted name. It's a board, international board, which are giving the names, generic names to a drug. And then we had a brand name. Brand names, as you know, that different companies can give different trade name for a drug for their trading. Okay, so we understand that a drug have 3 names. One is chemical name, second one is generic name, and third one is brand name. Chemical name, it is based on the chemical structure of a drug, and second one is generic name, which is accepted internationally and is given by the United States adopted name board. And third one is the brand name, which a different pharmaceutical company can give names to a drug for their trading purpose. Okay, so this chemical name, for example, here you can see, we will see this chemical structure. Here I will write once again. If you can give the IPC name of this structure, this is called ances. This is, if you, the IPC name of this structure is N 1 2 3 4 4 hydroxy phenyl ethanamide, because 2 carbon, 1 and 2 carbon, ethane, and this is the aldehyde group, ethanamide. So this is a chemical that's N4-hydroxyphenyl ethanamide. Okay, and this chemical, it shows antipyretic property. So this chemical, this is the chemical name of the substance of the chemical, that's N4-hydroxyphenyl ethanamide. And after when this drug was experimentally used, it showed antipyretic properties. Okay, later on this generic drug has been given the name that's called acetaminophen by the United States of adopted name. It's a board, naming board, which can give the generic name straight drug and which is internationally accepted. Okay, so and then there are companies, okay, they manufacture this acetaminophen and give their trade name, like for example paracetamol, okay, paracetamol, Dolu, Calpol, and brand names, it can be different names. So you got the concept that's a drug, it can be it's having the chemical name, generic name, and brand name. Chemical name, it depends upon the chemical structure, and the generic name, which is given by the United States adopted nomenclature names, and then we have the brand names, okay, which can be given by different pharmaceutical companies. See, usually in prescription we use either the generic name or brand name, but we does not use the chemical name. Why? Because the chemical name is it's somewhat difficult to write in the prescriptions. For example, we cannot write this name N4-hydroxyphenyl ethanamide in the prescription. It's not a convenient, okay, but instead of this we can use the paracetamol, we can use acetaminophen, or we can use the brand names like paracetamol, Dolu, Calpol, Neuromol. This is easy and convenient. So in a prescription we use only two names, one is generic name and brand name. Now we can classify the drugs. Based on we can give the pharmacologically, we can classify the drugs, we can give the pharmacological classification, and then we can give the chemical classification. So a drug can be classified into two types. First one is pharmacologically, we can classify the drug, and then chemically. And pharmacologically, the drug it's based on the, for example, the organ system. Okay, for example, drugs acting on nervous system, or drugs acting on central nervous system, or we can say drugs acting on kidney. So it depends upon based on the organ system in which it is used. And we can also give the pharmacological name of a drug based on the mechanism of action. For example, antipyretic, paracetamol, okay, so it reduces the fever, so we can call it antipyretics. Or we can say the painkiller, for example, analgesics, we have painkillers, we can call them analgesics. Why? Because they reduce the pain. So based on the mechanism of action. And also sometimes we can classify the drugs based on the duration of action. For example, long acting barbiturators, short acting barbiturators. Long acting we have example, that is phenobarbital, and short acting we have thiopentone. So in this way we can give the classification, we can give the names to a drug that is based on the pharmacologically. based on the pharmacology of a drug. Okay. Then second, we have the chemical majority. It depends based on the chemical structure. Okay. Based on the chemical composition of a drug. Like for example, this you can see that's N-hydroxy phenyl ethanamide. Okay, so if you give the naming to this, we can give numbering here. First 1 2 3 4. So this is N4-hydroxy phenyl. This is the phenyl group, and ethanamide 1 2 carbon, that's ethane, and this is aldehyde group, we can call it ethanamide, 4-hydroxy ethanamide. This classification, see, pharmacological classification is widely used, and this is mainly used by physicians, surgeons, clinical pharmacologists. Mainly most of the healthcare professionals, they use these names only. That's the pharmacological names of a drug. But this chemical name is also important. Okay, and this name is usually used by pharma doctors, or we can say the scientists, which are used in the manufacturing of drugs, which develop new drugs from a parent moiety. For example, we have opium, we have morphine. Okay, from morphine we can develop new drugs, different drugs. For example, when we change the structure of the morphine, we can get heroin, we can get codeine, we can get codeine, different drugs. We modify the structure of the drug. Okay, so this classification is very important for pharma doctors as well as the clinical pharmacologists who are involved in the manufacturing of new drugs, and who develop SAR, the structural activity relationship. So, but in order to understand the better way drugs, you should know both. That's pharmacological classification as well as chemical classification. From chemical classification point of view, you can also predict you can also predict these properties, like physical properties, chemical properties. For example, if you have a drug like which is soluble, which is lipid soluble, so you know that a lipid soluble can cross easily blood-brain barrier, so it can be used when the treatment is needed inside the brain. For example, if there is a treatment which can, for example, antipsychotic drugs, okay, which can act, drugs which act on the brain, so that drugs need to cross triple B. So how you can predict this? This you can predict by the chemical naming only. For example, we have organic compounds, and organic compounds are soluble in they are lipid soluble, or we can say they are oil soluble, so they can cross the triple B. Not usually all the organic compounds or lipid soluble. Just I am telling, for example, giving from chemical classification point of view, we can predict. For example, hydroxyurea. What is this hydroxyurea? This is a chemical and organic compound, and it can cross triple B, and it's used for the brain tumors. Like cormastine, lomastine. This is the hydroxyurea compounds which is used for the brain tumors. So it is beneficial to learn both classifications, like this pharmacological classification and chemical classification, in order to understand the drugs in a better way. So next, I'm going to make a playlist in which I will explain classification of drugs, and I will explain both. One is pharmacological classification as well as chemical classification. So next class we will see the drugs which will act on the nervous system, and I told you that I will explain pharmacological classification as well as chemical classification. So see you in next video, and for upcoming videos, please do subscribe my YouTube channel so that you can get it easily. So next, best of luck.